Hello, welcome to a new video. I hope you're having a great summer. It's been lovely here. I think I said this last time, but oh my gosh, I love summer so much. It's just so nice and bright, and yeah, it's wonderful. I love it, and I love the garden is still looking pretty. We've got more sort of roses hanging about this year than we've done in past years, and the geraniums are still looking good, at least half of them are. But anyway, this week I'm going to be finishing making a fairy tale journal. So I actually started this a little while ago. So today I'm going to be tea staining some paper for my journals that I've been making. I'm sewing pages together and creating some books. And I do really love the vintage styled ones. I love that sort of old parchment feel, and this is the best and the quickest way I've found to doing this. Now, I made a video a few years ago when I was really into this journal making, and it was called a quick easy way to age paper or something like that, and for some reason it took me, the video is 20 minutes long and it really doesn't need to be that long, so I'll just give you a very quick process of how to do it. So I've been steeping tea bags. Now, I don't really drink tea. When I do, I drink sort of flavoured black tea. So I've bought some really cheap tea bags and I just chucked 6 in, I think, plus the tea bag that my husband used earlier. And that's been seeping away, and now I'm going to fish them out to get them out of the way. And I've rested the saucepan on top just to keep it warm. I don't want it boiling because I suppose you don't need to keep it warm, actually. I'm just doing this over here because this is where it is. But you don't want it boiling hot because you will spill some on your hands, and obviously you don't want to burn yourself. And it doesn't matter if you leave the tea bags in, and in fact if the tea bags break, you sometimes can get that really nice granule, you know, the tea grains on the paper, and that makes a really nice effect as well. So I've got some paper here. I've got some envelopes, actually. I just dug out of the recycling box that I haven't bothered sorting out since Christmas. So we've got some nice envelopes. I don't like using like the sort of envelopes you get bills in, because I don't like those blue, you know, usually on the inside there's like a blue pattern. So if you've got envelopes, then collect them if that's the sort of thing you want to use. And I've got some ordinary printer paper. I'm going to use that because that's nice and it's nice and cheap, isn't it? And then I also got this pad of paper that back when we were running our alternative clothing online business, when we went to the trade shows, we were given this pad of paper from Laughing Vampire. They do some cool clothing, and it's obviously, I think it's sat in the windowsill where the rain comes in, and we've now got a damp mark all the way around it, and the whole pad is now a little bit ruined. So I thought I may as well tea stain all of this because it's already wrinkly anyway. It just doesn't look very nice at the moment, and use that in the scrapbooking. On the back it's plain, and I thought once that's divided in half, you know, if I'm putting it in a journal like that, you're not going to perhaps tell that it's got words written on it. I'm hoping that the tea staining will take away some of that pattern. It's a really nice sort of, let me show you close up. So you've got a nice sort of pattern around the edge. It's just actually it's got Laughing Vampire written on it, which I don't really want on there. But yeah, so we'll see. We may as well make the most of it and use that up. So you just simply screw it up a little bit to get the creases. Then you dunk it in as much or as little as you want, whether you just want the edges covered or the whole thing. I don't mind just sort of just getting the edges in mainly, and then I lay it out on a baking tray, and then I'll probably, because we are lucky, we've got this Rayburn running most of the time at the moment because it's really cold. As I'm filming this, it's pretty cold, so we've got the Rayburn on, but it's quite low. It's not even at the top of simmer, so you can just pop it in the Rayburn or even leave it on top and it will probably dry out like that. In an ordinary oven, I would just put it on quite low heat and just put it in the bottom of the oven for 5 or 10 minutes for it to dry out, and then it goes really nice and crispy, and it does feel like old paper. It's pretty cool. And then also what I like to do is just drip it onto the page underneath, and then you get some nice drips and areas where it's darker and lighter and that sort of thing. And that's it. You just do that. I'll show you when it's all done. I would suggest don't crinkle up the paper too much. I'm going to do it a bit less than I did last time because it does really weaken the paper. The better quality paper you use, the nicer it'll be, obviously. But yeah, I did find last time I did this that the paper did tear really quite easily afterwards, so I'm not going to go too much on the scrunchies this time. I'll just try and do it a little bit. Also then, if you only do it a little bit, it makes the paper more usable and you can actually write on it. Okay, I'm going to get a podcast on and carry on with this, and then I'll show you when it's all done. Right folks, I know I said 10 minutes in the oven. These have been in, well, I kept checking them hourly yesterday evening. And hello Helen, you come to see what I'm doing? Come to see what's going on. Look at the tail, swish, 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 swish. I kept checking on them hourly, and yeah, 10 minutes might work if you're just doing a couple of sheets of paper, but these stacked up, they just would not dry through. I kept sort of reshuffling them, and in the end I left them in the Ray-Ban overnight, kind of by mistake, so I'm glad I haven't come in, looked in the oven this morning and found a burnt pile of ashes. But yeah, they actually do feel dried through. So this is the end effect. This is pretty cool, this sort of dark bits, that's just picked up from the bottom of the baking tray, the rust I suppose. So this is the effect, and if you want it more parchment-like, obviously you need to dunk the whole thing in the tea and scrunch it up more. I deliberately didn't do that because I was finding the paper, because I'm making these to be useful, to be able to write on them, I didn't want them too scrunched up. So this effect is perfect. It's, you know, it's got a nice aged effect without making it unusable. So there we are, that's the end result. I'm quite pleased with that. So these are the pages I made earlier in the year. We've got a nice sort of chunky stack of them. I don't know what it is about fairy tales, but I just find them so inspiring. I didn't grow up with Disney. I wasn't in a Disney household, so I have to admit, in our Florida holiday that we recently had, I don't know if you watched that video where we did Disney World in full force. I feel a little bit disconnected from it because, like I said, I didn't grow up with Disney like our kids have, like I think Chris did really as well. But no, apart from Rolf Harris's Cartoon Time, that was really my only experience where I saw Disney cartoons. But we had the do it yourself. We had the read it yourself little books. Let me know in the comments, did you have those books, you know, with read it yourself written in big letters? I'll have to see if I can find a picture. I think my sister's got our old ones, I think she got them for her kids. I have such fond memories of those books. I would just, when I couldn't sleep, I would read them. Before bedtime I would read them, and if I couldn't sleep I would lie there thinking up my own fairy tales. And I don't know, I think that it really sort of embedded the whole soul of the fairy tale in me, you know, like the adventure, the magic, the possibility of a cooking pot that kept making porridge, you know, all that sort of thing, and trolls beneath bridges. And it just, I think it was really ingrained in me, the whole, yeah, everything about fairy tales, and I just love them so much. And so I'm always inspired by them. Obviously my clothing business is called Threads of a Fairy Tale. My art is often fairy tale inspired, and I want to sort of, I know you can look quite deeply into them. I've recently got on Audible the complete original Grimm's fairy tales before they were sort of made a bit more child friendly. But I found the accent of the person reading them was so annoying. I couldn't carry on listening to them. I'll give them another go, but if not, I think I might have to find them in print version and actually sit and read them. Because I do find them, the original fairy tales, so fascinating. They're just so mad and often don't have a point, and but you know, it's always about adventure and usually good overcoming. I think I've written about this on my Threads of a Fairy Tale page actually. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah, there's usually a sense of good winning, you know, the person with the good heart is usually the person that wins in the end, not the person with all the money. So, you know, there's often stories like that that are the true heart of a fairy tale, I think. And now I need to make the cover. Here's the finished journal. I'm really pleased with it. I like the pyrography once upon a time. I mean, if ever I had a favourite phrase, that might be it. So I did some lovely satin navy ribbon. There's a sort of navy and dark red theme running through the whole book, along with some brown, obviously from the vintage paper, and I've used some brown vintage style papers throughout as well. So yeah, I won't go through all the pages here, but yeah, it was such fun to make, it really was. So this will probably go on sale at Christmas. I've got some more journals to finish making, and I'll probably do a batch load then. I'm really pleased with that. I was worried that the cardboard bit was going to be too big, but actually it still flaps out. You do still need the ribbon to keep it at a nice size. That's kind of perfect. So that's it from me this week. I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know in the comments which is your favourite fairy tale, which is your favourite childhood fairy tale. I'd love to know. I think mine it's a classic, and it's a bit of an obvious choice maybe, but mine is probably Cinderella, and that's probably down to watching A Slipper in the Rose. I don't know if you've seen that, but I loved that film, absolutely loved it. So if you'd like to watch the full video of the making of that journal, then that's over in my Patreon community. If you'd like to join us over there, I'd love to see you there, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, bye.